Well, like I said, technology's a motherfucker. In that it's
Yep.
next week,
Right.
we'll try and get a decent connection with Brother Black. I'm gonna add you back in for a brief second here, Black, just to let you know we are now signing off on
Signing off.
another episode of the SquadKast.
Oh, bad.
Podcast episode 19. Y'all take it easy out there.
Take it easy. Be safe.
Like, share, drop a comment, do all that good stuff. All right.
All right, bro. Y'all be cool.
Take it easy, brother.
You too, bro.
Deuces.
Woo. Yes, indeed.
All right. Well, gentlemen, thanks to the miracle of technology, here we are once again in union. SquadKast podcast, episode 19. What's cracking? Hello.
What's going on, brother?
Welcome back. What's good? What's good?
All right. Yeah, I can hear you. Everybody can hear you. Each other, I believe.
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Well, let's see here. We're trying this new format, this new feature, this new application, due to this coronavirus still giving a good old eye of a hell of its time. Right now, I don't know if y'all heard last night, like 500 some more cases in the state. A few more people have passed away. So,
yep,
troubling times still, right? No, we thought we'd come together on this application here and see if we can make something special. Keep the entertainment rolling, huh? That being said, I guess what we wanted to talk about is what we have been doing to keep ourselves entertained, what we're watching, what we're reading, what we're listening to, all that good stuff. So I do have a fresh brew cracked here. I do want to bring it up, gentlemen. 12:17 p.m. This is fine. This is okay to start drinking as far as I'm concerned. So
here we go.
I'm excited and interested to see what y'all listening to and what you're watching and whatnot, because I'm running out of fucking YouTube shit. I'm gonna be honest with you. YouTube, I'm giving it a run for its money.
Yeah.
I feel they're in the back room like load more. He's still watching. Okay.
It's tough. It's hard in the yard.
Well, Brother Black, let's start with you. Man. I know you were back home working and you were talking about, after about a week, all this at home time and everything being shut down. What you been doing with all this newfound freedom or
so for
isolation?
Me, when it comes to this week made a full week of me working from home. After it being a week, I think I'm getting used to it. But like we said last week's show, just get into a habit of doing different stuff in the house, whether it's working out, reading books. Like you said, we've done the YouTube thing. I've ordered a couple books from Barnes and Noble to get me going. I ordered a couple more books actually this past week. YouTube, of course, we still doing the podcast. Yep, I got you. And then also, as far as movies wise, I've been trying to catch up on a couple of different things on Netflix. I watched the old movie last night with who was it? Can't remember offhand, but it was an old movie. Ultimately, Netflix
that's a lot of detail. That's a lot of. Let me guess.
I know. I can't think of it offhand.
The Little Mermaid? Was it the Little Mermaid?
You got jokes. But I can't think of it. I can't think of it offhand, and so I don't want to just keep going in circles over and over about it. So I'll just skip it and go to my Netflix part.
Okay.
So for me, for Netflix, I watched a couple different things. I watched Altered Carbon, Bad Blood. Right now, I'm watching Black as Fuck, which is okay. It has its moments.
That good though, man.
What else am I watching?
That Altered Carbon, though, is that pretty dope?
It's decent. It has its moments because it kind of goes all over the place. But if you can get into it, you'll catch it and you'll like it. I'm trying to think of what else. Somebody was telling me about the Madam CJ. I think it was Brother DJ that was telling me about the Madam CJ Walker. I haven't checked that out yet.
That does look real dope, actually.
I'm trying to think. It was something else I wanted to mention. Oh, another show. It's the weirdest fuck. They kind of be pushing the agenda that we talk about, the whole LGBT agenda, but Since 8. It was another decent show. It kind of talks about
What
clusters
was
and
it?
like Sense 8, SENSE, the number 8. Like I said, if you
Okay.
watch it, it kind of goes all over the place. Even in the first episode, it kind of will pull you away from it. But if you can get into it, you'll like it. Other than that, music wise, I noticed myself lately these past couple of weeks I've been listening to a lot of that drill shit, and I had to get out of that because that shit just had you on some murder, death, kill shit, and that shit ain't cool. So I mean, I had to take a step back. I've been listening more so like the
You
oldies and
be
Dusties,
out there with
Frankie
the hand
Beverly
on
the
the hater,
Maze,
like
Frankie
influenced.
Beverly Maze, Chico DeBarge or El DeBarge in them for the most part. Trying to mix it up, not just listen to one set thing for the most part. I'm probably gonna try and step into a little bit of jazz. I ain't listened to nothing like that since I was a shorty. So just trying to step outside the box for the most part. I know it's a little bit different when I was working from home because like I say, I didn't expect it to be what it is, honestly, because you can kind of go crazy being in the fucking house all day for 8 hours. Well, 8 to 10 hours
Oh,
if whatever your
right.
shift is, and just looking around the
Yep.
fucking walls. So it's a learning curve, I would say, but I'm getting there. I got my shorty here with me, so the hard part is gonna be
What
trying to manage.
what books you reading? Did you
So
say
I
you got a
told
book
you
or you were reading a book?
I grabbed the 48 Laws of
Excuse
Power,
me.
and I got the Art of War so far, but I've ordered. I got back into my James Patterson books because I was a big fan of his. I grabbed a couple of his books. I grabbed a book on communication, and then another book on can't remember. I have to. What I'll do is I'll send you a link to the books I got because I can't think of the other one. It was like a self motivation or something like that. Basically, a self starter book, more so dealing with mental. And that's all I got for right now.
That 48 Laws of Power, you gotten through all 48?
No, this is the fourth time I've bought this book. Somebody stole it 3 times already.
What? Well, shit,
This
brother,
is
protect this one. Keep it by your
so
side.
yeah. Nobody will be seeing this book. So yeah. Other than that, I mean, I'm still trying to get more so into the whole working out thing. I did about 40 push-ups. I know that ain't shit. Go ahead, brother DJ.
40.
He gonna go ahead and tell me I'm at 100 already for the day. Catch up. But yeah, that's all I got.
What you cooking, man? I find myself cooking a lot more. Obviously, I'm cooking everything every day. I cook every day
Well,
now. It's a
Yep.
lot of
honestly,
well, I do some
so you're
frozen
just adding
pizzas,
on the
but
cook. Okay, I mean, ultimately, I haven't been cooking. Honestly try not to cook unless I have my shorty here to be a buck because I don't like
what
to
does that
cook.
even mean, bro? What do you just what are you
I'll
doing then?
make some. Okay, let me explain it a little bit better. When my son's not here, I'll make me some quick stuff like some pizza or something, or what I'm saying, something
Oh,
basic, a Polish
Cheffen,
and
boy,
French
you are
fries.
something special, brother.
And whereas with my son's here, then I'll make a full course meal, some fried chicken, rice, and macaroni or something. You know what I'm saying, something like that. But when I don't have my shorty, I try and keep something basic, a pot pie, or something I could just throw in the oven real quick and smash on while he
Okay.
not here. But I
Bro, I
primarily
ain't
try
even
not
gonna
to cook.
lie, man. When I right after I got a divorce, man, I was 6, 7 years at this point. All I was eating
What you
for
want?
months on end
Something to
was
drink?
pot pies and broccoli.
You want some
Just little
juice?
dinky banquet pot pies and broccoli.
Boy, them motherfuckers is a hit. That's why I
Day
was
after
about to
day. That's
make a
what I was,
post on the motherfucker because
bro,
motherfuckers
I was
tripping.
losing weight. I was getting sick and shit. It was not healthy. It was a bad deal. I don't know what the
He said
fuck I
I
was
was
thinking.
losing weight and getting sick.
Right. Them eating pies and frozen broccoli. It was ridiculous, bro.
So you just shit on my whole. I was about to pump up the whole pot pie thing. You just shit on my pot pie theory. I
I'm
was about
just
to go with them
saying,
motherfuckers
bro.
is a hit.
Don't take it too seriously. Don't take it too seriously. Better keep some variety in that bitch, man.
You stupid. That was funny. That was a good one. I get that. You hating, bro. Ain't nothing wrong with no damn pot pie. Our granny used to get that to us all the time. You hating, bro.
All right. Well, gentlemen, give me 1 second here. I need a brief moment. Well, brother DJ, okay?
Yeah,
How we doing, brother? How you doing today?
I'm good. What's going on, brothers?
Just doing what it does. Just surviving, if they can call it that.
Quarantine life at its fullest.
Right. Well, how about you, man? What you doing to keep yourself entertained, man? What you watching? What you watching? What's on TV? What movie? Are you in anything even?
I really a lot of news. I can tell you that much.
Right.
I think
What
that's
news
pretty much
channel are
where,
you watching?
brother. I didn't interrupt you while you gave your dialogue at all, did I? I didn't say not one thing, did I? I let you go into your 7-minute spiel without even saying a word.
It's
And
actually, I think it's closer to 9.
And the minute I said, the minute I formulated 2 sentences, here he go, and I can't even get my thought out. So
he couldn't wait, boy. I tell you, he couldn't wait.
thank you, Brother Black, once again. But then again, I don't want to be accused of bitching at him, so let me stop.
So let him digress, if you will.
Let me digress.
Wow, here we go.
I don't want to get accused of such things, you know. So let me digress.
I'm not going to argue with you on live.
There's nothing to argue about, brother. This is my time. I gave you your time 12 minutes ago, brother. This is my time to shine. Okay, brother?
I'm not going to go there with you, brother. You got it. You got this. You fucking nut.
You still talking, brother? You still talking,
they go
brother?
to police.
Uh-oh. Don't let them see what we doing, okay?
Yeah.
Whatever they say.
This is federally breaking federal law type shit.
Right, probably. Right?
Like,
we
sir,
gonna
can I see that phone? What are you doing?
You are all too close digitally.
Is that a gang meeting? Is that a gang meeting?
Oh, here we go.
So what you watching, brother? What news you watching, man? Anybody in particular? You just trying to get as much as you can.
You go back inside. They got
I'm not really watching, I guess, one particular thing. I just really like watching shit that makes me think. You know what I'm saying? And I don't really engage in the, obviously working from home, the daytime TV is horrible. I don't watch soap operas and none of that shit. I don't watch Dr. Oz and Dr. Phil and none of these judge shows and none of this shit. You know what I'm saying? So I find myself watching, like I said, some news. I watch documentaries, whether it be on, particular interests that I enjoy, or whether it just be history, shit like that. Cause I've been real big on history over the past, I want to say, 1.5 to 2 years. So anything that I could watch that's history related, that can give me some information to go look at and really see if this is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, just to kind of question the sources and, question the shit that's being depicted to the people, because we all know, and we said, the media controls the information that we get unless you do the research. So,
man.
Outside of that,
I agree with you there.
Yeah.
Sports, I catch myself watching a lot of old sports.
I was gonna say, ain't nothing cracking right now, right? You watching
as
old
far
shit,
as
huh?
they replaying a lot of old clips from like older games from like the 80s, the 90s.
Is it good?
They're good games. They're good games. Good basketball games, NBA. Some NFL. If you got NFL Network, they play some good ones on there. Really, I mean, I think the reason why they've been doing that is obviously because we have no sports, number one, and two, not know if y'all brothers follow up on this, but the Chicago Bulls documentary, The Last Dance, has been airing on ESPN. They already had the first 2 episodes last Sunday, and then they're gonna have the next 2 episodes tomorrow.
What's it on right now?
It's on ESPN.
Oh yeah, okay. But I did hear it has dropped though. Some interesting stuff in there.
The first 2 episodes dropped, and it's very, very eye opening and very, very interesting. I mean, considering that me and Brother Black lived and grew up in Chicago and was there at that time when all this footage and shit is being produced. It's kind of it wasn't really too much that I didn't know, because like I said, growing up there, you kind of knew and heard the stories already. But now to actually see the footage and get the different perspectives about how that whole year and how they really didn't enjoy the success of that year. And it's a good documentary. So if you're able to get access to ESPN or the people watching got ESPN, check that out. It comes on every Sunday. They do 2 episodes, hour long every Sunday.
Isaiah, you gotta have cable on ESPN. I don't know. I don't fucking watch ESPN, so I don't know. Is that an app? Is it gonna also be on Hulu or something too? I'm not gonna be on ESPN, I guess is what I'm saying.
you got a smart TV or Fire Stick or something like that?
Oh yeah, for sure. I got that Chromecast.
It's just an app away. It's just a download away. We'll get to that. We'll get to that off camera because I don't want to be accused of piracy on camera. just for let you know.
Hey, let me ask y'all a quick question real quick though. Hypothetically speaking, morally, is it wrong or is it right to have those hacked Fire Sticks and or like going to those bootleg streaming websites and shit like that? Do you think it's good or bad, or y'all sitting neutral on that?
Brother DJ, I'll let you go first.
I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna watch what I want to watch.
Exactly.
Whatever I feel like watching, because they don't give a fuck about me. They don't give a fuck about jacking the prices up on these packages and jacking the internet rates up, and you getting slow ass motherfucking service. I mean, just anything. Like, they don't give a fuck about you. So you know what? I don't give a fuck about you.
So
I don't like think it's wrong per se, but I don't engage in it because I know someone specifically who had their fucking spot raided by the feds because they were on some high end illegal shit, basically bootlegging, in an organized crime kind of way. But ever since that shit happened, though, I was like, nah, I don't need that kind of pressure in my life. And hold up, since then, I've been on a personal mission to acquire hard copies of everything I want to watch and listen to.
Brother, let me interject real quick. I know y'all see my DVD collection. I think that you're borderline lunacy right now.
I get that the likelihood of someone with a Fire Stick getting kicked in compared to what my man's was actually doing. I get it.
Come on now, brother.
But it's too close.
There's millions upon millions.
Well, you keep spending that $200 on your
that have Fire Stick and all types of devices.
Fuck out of here.
All I know is that it's better to learn from other people's mistakes.
How much is that cable bill, cuz?
Oh man, I should like $40 a month. Man, it ain't that bad. It ain't that bad.
For cable?
Oh no, actually, I don't pay anything. Well, I have DirecTV, but it's 30 channels and it's free. I don't watch it. It's just trash. It's just a bunch of fucking stupid ass channels. It's nothing anyone wants to watch. That's why it's free.
That you never watch. Exactly.
I never watch. I just watch the locals.
Fire Stick and all that bullshit. Fuck out of here.
But my internet's $40.
I'm not gonna stunt. That's how much my internet is. I'm not gonna stunt. I got a Fire Stick and I hardly even use it. But I'll tell you this one thing: it comes a lot more handy than fucking cable. Cause all I gotta do is plug that bitch in.
The internet's definitely better than cable.
Fuck out of here.
Just in general.
Nah, I'm cool.
I definitely I like to get hard copy versions of everything I watch and listen to. Cause when this shit all goes down, all I need is a little bit of juice. That's all I need. Just a little bit of juice. Hook that battery up. We can get this DVD player working right now. Okay. All right. So I digress. Brother DJ, what you reading right now then?
Excuse me.
I know last week you said you got a couple of. You said last week you had some books coming. What's good?
I got a. It's a comedic health book, a comedic holistic health book coming. And 2 more comedic books coming.
Are you gonna try to experiment on yourself, bro? Don't get carried away with this shit now.
What do you mean?
I don't know what I don't know where you getting this book from. I just don't want to find out that you imported yourself trying to fuck with some herbs too heavy or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
I just
man. I think
They found
that
you out in the woods with no shirt on with rashes everywhere. Face swole up. I'm just saying, don't go too
no,
crazy on it.
I think my chances will be better off with that than the poisons that they pumping into the foods that we eat every day anyway.
I can't argue with that. Oh shit, my bad.
So
I can't argue with that.
I just it's just something to. I mean, for me, considering that, I mean, I'm not no fucking history major, nothing like that, but I do my research. I mean, it's just certain things that Black people that just we consumed back in the day that we just got away from that was really conducive to our bodies, and that's what basically I'm trying to get back to see what it is that I can take to keep my body going. Because I mean, we're only getting older, and you know, we're not gonna stay young forever. We can try to quote the Jay-Z song "Young Forever" if all we want, but it don't work that way. So I'm just trying to make sure that I'm medically and physically and mentally and spiritually in a good place as I continue to get old. And you know, I don't want to be dependent on going to the doctor and getting pumped a bunch of pills and telling you you need to do this and do that. And I mean, that's part of the problem where we at now, to be honest with you. The opioid crisis and the pill epidemic and all this other shit has just really gotten out of hand. And I'm not really a pill popper in that way anyway. I even have a hard time taking vitamins just because I don't even like taking pills, period.
Right.
So
Yeah,
it's
I hear
just,
you.
you know, so it would be easier for me to, you know, maybe, you know, ingest certain herbs or you know, cook with certain things. Like, you know, for example, like sea moss. Sea moss is real healthy for you. You know, not too many people will know
Yep, I've
that,
read about that.
but
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you can cook with it, you can use it and put in, you know, make drinks with it,
Store
all
chocolate
type of stuff.
porters.
So
Chocolate porters in a can. I just want to,
now
along with sea moss.
that don't mean just go out into your motherfucking ocean or beach and come up
Go
and
get
go
some
like,
sea
oh, I got
moss.
some sea moss, and just, you know, you start cooking with the
No,
shit,
I'm
you know.
going right out to Sailorville this weekend. I'm gonna
What
get me
you
some
mean? We
fresh sea
out there. We're
moss.
gonna get us some.
Do your research. You know, there's a couple places I've looked at where I'm actually gonna order some and you know, make some things with it and see what it does, man. I've heard nothing but good reviews about it, and I read up on it so much that I think I'm willing to give it a try. Uh, though that's really the only and those books were recommended by Dick Gregory. So I think I made a mistake the last show and said that um they
They
were
was
his
by.
books or something like that. They was by him, but they were recommended by him. And I showed Brother Black actually the 3 books when I was over his house or something like that not too long ago. So he knows about the 3
Yeah.
books, and like 1 was on Amazon and 2 was at Target
So
online. You can't go in the online only. So so that's it from the book game, TV game. As far as like what I'm listening to, as far as music, it really just depends on the day. Most of the time, I find myself listening to Money Man, just because I like what the music that he's doing right now. I like this beat selection. Sometimes sometimes he could get classified as a mumble rapper depending on the song, but for the most part, that's really not him. He's
Who?
more into Money
Money
Man.
Man.
I
Money
haven't
Man,
not heard of
Pee
this
Wee
cat.
Longway, the whole TSF, Sauce Walker, Sosa Man, Peso, Rizzo, all them.
I said Sauce
Uh,
Walker. I mean, he probably will end up being one of the most underrated rappers of all time. Like low key, this cat be dropping
It's
some
gonna give
jewels,
him. It's
man.
gonna take a couple years before motherfuckers start giving
Hmm.
him his shine. It's gonna be
You
about
know,
3 more years
he's
before he
got so
finally.
much of that
Yeah.
typical kind of street music that it's some of the shit he be saying just gets buried. But I dare I say some of the lyrics he have are prolific. So yeah, no, I
Sauce
feel you there.
Walker,
Hmm.
he goes hard. I fuck with Sauce Walker.
Right.
I actually you know, some brothers won't give me credit, but I actually introduced Sauce Walker to certain people and
Yes, he
brought him to the
did. I'll give
table.
him that.
You know,
Like I brought Money Man, but
they
I'm not going there. I'm not going there.
you
But yes,
what?
you did. You did put me up on Sauce
You
Walker. We're
brought
not
Money
gonna argue on
Man.
the show.
How do
We're
you
not gonna
bring
argue
Money
to the
Man to the
show.
table?
We're
And I
not
was
gonna
listening
argue
to
about
Money
it.
Man and Pee Wee Longway mixtape. What are
Wow.
you talking about?
Okay, you got it, brother.
What are you
You got it,
talking
brother.
about?
Okay, brother. You got it, brother. You
You
got
know
it.
what? I'm done. I digress. I'm done.
Brother
I
DJ
can't
has
do it.
digressed yet again. You see what you be doing to him, Black? You be forcing Brother DJ to digress.
I'm done.
Okay,
Outside of that,
okay.
I listen to a whole bunch of different shit. It just depends on my mood. When I'm working out, it could be Lil Jon and the East Side Boys on some old shit to keep me hype, you know what I'm saying? Or I can listen to some Fabulous, Jada, some old. I was actually listening to old Styles P mixtape, Mario Ghost in the Shell.
Wow, yeah. Wow,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So that that lets you know that I can be up to date if I want to, or I can take it back on some real classic type
Just
shit.
like that. Just
Like that. So that's really it for me. I'm gonna digress and let Brother Black go ahead and run the show like he's been doing. And I appreciate y'all giving my time to shine, brothers.
Wow.
All right, well, yeah, Brother Black, refrain, brother. You was about ready to hop in. I could tell, but she was about ready to go in. Just refrain, brother. Okay. Don't let him get to you.
He was about this close. he was right there. He knew what the fuck he was doing.
Okay. Well, that being said,
that was funny. That was funny.
I digress. I don't know what you're talking about. I digress.
He's been digressed. It's too late. It's too late, Black. You can't say nothing. He's digressed.
Oh man.
With all due respect.
That's the most disrespectful shit ever, right
myself, fellas, as far as what I've been watching, just like I said earlier, a ton of YouTube, man. I like YouTube because it's perfect for the type of attention span that I have. Like, I'm real good in that 5 to 13 minute range. Like, woo, I could really digest a lot of great information. You start pushing me into 14, 15, 20, 30. Oh, I don't know. I got to start hitting the back button because I missed shit you said, or I'm like, this isn't entertaining anymore. So, lots of YouTube. I watch a ton of, I don't know if I know who Jimmy Dore is. He's a comedian, but also runs a podcast that he does. It's like progressive politics, but he be getting in the ass of progressive politicians as well. He's not impressed with any of the shit. So, and I'm really with him. He be yelling and getting angry and calling everybody a fucking asshole and everything. And I'm like, I'm with you, Jimmy. I'm with you on that tip. So I watch a lot of that. I watch a lot of The Hill. I don't know if y'all seen that. I don't know those cats are more progressive media, but just cats who are just saying just is what it is. Just people you understand what they're saying. It isn't a lot of fluff in between. So a lot of Rogan. So that's just entertaining there. Joe Rogan's always going to say something fucking stupid, and that's just worth every second. Like, there he goes. Musclehead Joe Rogan interjecting his thoughts into the world. And because millions of people see it, that shit's just hilarious. The ripple effect that someone like Joe Rogan, the Fear Factor guy, can have in the media is hilarious. The Fear Factor guy affects the media. So that's hilarious.
Shout out Joe Rogan.
Let's see, what else am I listen to? I listen to a lot of Benjamin Dixon too. I think I mentioned him before. He's another podcaster.
Hold on, okay. We gotta do a rest in peace to Fred the Godson.
Well, that was super random, by the way. I don't know how that was related to anything I was just talking about.
I meant to say
corona. I get that, but still, it's just saying that was a weird point to bring that up. But okay,
I meant to do that when we was talking about music.
Benjamin Dixon mentioned.
I meant to talk about that when we was doing music because he's a rapper that passed away recently. And the hip hop community is struck by that a rapper died from coronavirus. So I just wanted to shout that out, not shout it out, but let it be known. Rest in peace to the young brother. I'm sorry, Chef, and I didn't mean to interrupt like that, but I just felt like we have to let that be known on the platform.
All right. Well, here's Chef and digressing all of a sudden.
It's the Brother Black effect. I'm sorry, it's rubbed off
Yeah,
on you.
see, Black, this shit. Y'all gotta rein this in. Y'all gotta rein it in, one way or the other, whatever works. Oh hell no! There he goes. I don't know what's going on with him.
I don't got no. My video is not updated though. It don't show me like my shit's buffering.
I see. Yeah, no, you just kind of a still picture right now. That's fine. It's fine.
But still for the past 10 minutes.
And well, as far as music goes, I'm listening to not a lot of anything, but I'll be listening to like the same 10 songs over and over and over and over. I don't give a fuck, and they're mostly R&B songs. Y'all know who Sir is? SIR. If you ever heard of him,
I heard of him.
Yeah, he's an R&B cat. You know, he's a known. He's just been around. He's one of them cats who's just been in the industry for a minute, so everyone knows who he is. And now he's been doing his own thing, but he's just getting a little bit more to the surface now with his music. It's his own music. So, but lots of that shit. And I really only do that when I'm out biking now these days. So I ain't driving a lot these days. So, but I be hitting that bike a lot. I've been doing. I do 30 miles the other day. I just kept listening to the same 10 tracks over and over and over. So, and I had this weird moment where I'm passing someone on the trail, right? But we're kind of going a close speed. So it takes me maybe 1 or 2 minutes to actually fully get past them. But I'll start the same song that I've been playing over while I'm going next to them. They be like, wait a minute, is he listening to the same song again? And that's right, fool. That was a great song. That's why I'm playing it again.
Oh, shit.
I don't listen to bad songs. I don't listen to bad songs. Okay.
You're a repeat offender? Is that what you are? You're a repeat offender?
Yeah. I listen to the same song 10 times in a row. No problem. Won't flinch.
So
won't flinch.
We gotta do something about your ass for the road trip. Then we gotta give you a playlist of like 50 songs and throw them 10 songs you like included in that mix. Your ass will not be running the radio station. He can't be the passenger side driver then, like you say. I fall asleep. We can't make him the driver then because he gonna play them same damn 10 songs.
Right, yeah. There's got to be someone on the other end of SoundCloud who sees my account be like, I'm pretty sure this says this guy listened to this song 10,000 times. Is this normal? Is this normal? Is he a psychopath? Who listens to a song this many times? But no reading much, unless it's maybe a couple of online articles. But I'm not much into paper these days, gentlemen. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm tired of killing trees, and I feel like I can get the same information verbally and or via an online article if I really want to do some reading. So, and I've just never been really one for books. I got a handful of books, but most of them are 20 years old at this point.
Can y'all see me now? Well, my shit still.
Yeah, it's still, man. Why don't you just drop out real quick and then rejoin? That'll just fix the connection, I bet. Fix the picture or whatever.
Brother Cheffen, I think that you should continue on with whatever else that you're doing during the quarantine, because I don't know how long it's going to take for Brother Black to actually come back, and we don't want to keep it stagnant. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I'm sending. I just sent it to his ass again, just in case. I don't know what that is, but okay.
But I mean, we do know he has a son, so I mean,
for sure, right. He might just be kind of for a quick second,
right?
But but beyond ordering fruits and vegetables to come to my doorstep, which is convenient. Like I said, not a lot of reading per se, but a lot of watching, a lot of listening. Netflix is all right. The lady keep trying to get me into these drama and crime shows and shit, but I'm so inclined to the more comedic shit and news stuff that crime shows and shit are just not really are my thing. But there's a few good ones out there shit and got me to watch. Actually, speaking of, you seen that Tiger King? Have you watched that yet?
No, brother. I don't engage in tomfoolery, bro. I'm cool on that shit, bro.
That shit is just wild as hell, man.
I can't do it. I won't do it. I can't engage in that shit, man. Like, I seen the clip, he was getting drugged by the tiger or some shit. I was like, nah, this ain't it.
Right, yeah.
This ain't it.
I mean, Tiger King is like everything that's wrong with America. And it almost isn't a perfect, summation of what's wrong with America. Just doing what you want with whatever you fucking want with 2 guns on your hips. And while you do it, that's American as fuck, man.
Yeah.
It's wrong, and righteous at the same time. I don't even know how to explain it, man. So why?
I wholeheartedly agree with you on that one, and I will agree with you as well as far as the YouTube consumption and things of that nature. Like I'm the same way. Like I mean, outside of like documentaries that are actually on Netflix, obviously, or TV that's going to be 30 minutes or longer. You know, as far as like YouTube is concerned, you got to catch me in that 30-minute span. Nothing longer than 30 minutes. You know what I mean? Like even when I'm watching Sonetta, you know, and I catch some of his videos that be super long. You know, Sonetta
right. Oh, he can
be
just
long
go and go and go and go
for hours. You
no
know,
dead
and
space.
I had to, you know, 30 minutes. That's enough time
Right.
for me to digest all the information that I really
Right.
need. You know what I
I
mean?
get
So
what you're saying, brother. On to the
yeah,
next one. On to the
yeah.
next one. So for sure.
I think Brother Black just texted me saying that it won't pop back up for him, Cheffen.
I don't know what that means. That's such
I
a
don't.
weird.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. I guess no. He texted me too. I said I got my shit on silent though, so of course naturally.
Okay. Okay. Well, I
I
just
don't.
happened to seeing it pop up on the screen. I'm like, whoa. Okay.
All right. I'll send him the link again, but sure, whatever. Whatever. We'll keep it going. Hopefully he can join
But
back. But on
so,
top of
what are you cooking?
that, yeah, I was
What
gonna
are you
say, like I
cooking?
said, I've never been so goddamn on this fucking stove, brother. Let's see. You know, I cook the classics, the standards. I do a lot. We do pasta. We do the you know,
Right.
I'm baking some chicken.
Okay.
Well, see, lately though, I'm getting into frying fish, which I never fucking did before, and different kinds of fish, white fish at that. I never even attempted to fry fish. I don't even like fried food at the crib. It's just too messy. That's more than anything.
Yeah.
That's the number one. I don't even
Yeah.
all that shit. What you gonna do with the grease?
And
I gotta keep it
it's
in. And
not really healthy for you neither. A lot of fried
oh,
food is not healthy for you.
Can y'all hear me?
oh. The young brother is back in black. Literally, it's just a black screen. Where you at, brother? Do you have
Can
your
y'all
thumb?
hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear, brother, but we cannot see you.
So look, when y'all was talking about the order, I could hear everything y'all was saying. I kept saying, "Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me?" But y'all couldn't hear shit. And then that was the last time I was in the group thing because that was when DJ was asking you about. He was just starting to ask you about what happened with the order. And then, like I said, y'all couldn't hear nothing I was saying, but I could hear y'all, but I couldn't see y'all. Like right now, y'all not on my screen.
And you're not
So
on our
yeah, you're
screen.
not on ours, man.
This is fucking.
Just drop out. Yep. Okay, so he'll drop out. We'll get him back or not. That's
Yeah,
fine. That's
we'll
fine.
get brother. Hey, look, this is a new thing we're trying. You know,
Right,
we're
for
gonna have
sure.
hiccups. Just bear
And
with us.
technology just is what it is, and that is imperfect. Okay,
That is true.
that's just the facts of life. Okay.
But as
Uh,
I was kind of saying that you said you didn't really like frying a lot of foods and stuff
mhm.
like that, and I was just saying that really we should be staying away from fried foods. Period. To be
Respect
honest
that,
with you,
right?
you
For
know,
sure.
or at least limiting the consumption, the amount
Mhm.
that you're eating. You know, because some you know we all got our vices. You know,
Right.
yeah, we all some people like fries, some people like chicken. You know, fried pork chops, whatever. You know, and just you know try to limit the amount that you consume.
You know, after all those cases at the Tyson pork plant and the 2 or 3 deaths so far, I haven't bought pork in 2 weeks, brother. Okay, I'm done with pork. Actually, I got some bratwursts that I got 10 of them, luckily. So I sectioned them out. I'm gonna spread these bitches out. I'm gonna savor every last fucking bite, and then I'm done with pork until they get their shit together. Okay, I can't risk it.
I'm
And I
telling you,
just, it's
brother,
so sad, man, thinking about how these essential workers are just being sent literally to the slaughter every day. Just like,
every
no, go
day,
back out there. Go back out there. Yeah,
every
we know
day.
it's spreading. We know people are dying from it, but just go back out there.
Let me ask you a question, brother.
Mhm.
Let me ask you a question. So these essential workers, right?
Yep.
I'm just gonna highlight the medical field, right? Considering that a lot of states have said that they're on a shortage of doctors, nurses, just people in the medical field. Period. I remember at one point, Governor Andrew Cuomo was saying that all the students who were set to graduate from medical school this year, just to go ahead and have them just start helping out right now during the pandemic. But my question is, do you think that they're being monetarily compensated for all the efforts, long hours that they're putting in? I would hope so. I will hope that they're getting a pretty nice paycheck for all their hard work.
I have heard that they have increased pay dramatically in order to even attract a lot of the healthcare and medical professionals they need, because
That's
it's
sad.
so serious
Sad.
Right, that these health officials know it's so serious that it's a struggle for some of them to volunteer. But that being said, that whether you're there or not, I mean, if you are there, one way or the other, I have heard that they have increased pay, like almost double, if not triple, what it might normally be.
They should be getting like triple, bro.
Ultimately, though, the sad thing is, like, there's I don't know that you can really fairly compensate these particular folks, especially if they end up getting contracting it. And
I get that.
Is there really a price you can put on the struggle it's going to take? You can certainly, it could be a come up for anybody if you make it through, but
what I'm saying is it's just the demand. The demand is so high, and that they have these individuals working such long hours, sometimes not even getting a day off. You know what I mean? Like not even getting a couple hours of sleep. I would assume for this time period, even though we both agree that there's no dollar amount that you could put on contracting a virus, but I would hope that they're being financially compensated for all their efforts, whether they're getting triple pay, a big ass bonus every couple weeks or month or something like that. Like they have to have something, because they're the ones on the front lines dealing with this stuff every day.
Right. When this started, man, I heard someone just make a good point that the medical profession itself is going to have a ripple effect, just because of the doctors that will be lost during this particular event.
Yeah.
Like they're just that lost contribution to just the advancement of modern science or medical science or whatever will just be felt for decades to come as a result of this. I mean, even the first doctor that actually discovered and diagnosed and figured out what it was, that person is dead,
died.
He died of this as well. I mean, it's just been basically going on from there. So and so it's just sad to think, right? I mean, it's almost a 9/11 like moment where there's just for decades, this is going to be talked about. Remember, people will feel the effects. There will be these, this group of heroes and people who will be recognized as sacrificing themselves,
I think that this might be something that might get taught or added into the history. How now they talk about 9/11 as history, what happened, and think, well, the Twin Towers and all that. I think that now they might include this in history all over the world, because this is a worldwide thing. And I think especially the United States, how at least I know when I was coming up in school in history and stuff like that, they talked about the plague and the different type of illnesses that was going on through different points in history. And I think this might be one of those things where they talk about year 2020, the coronavirus, just went on a rage and just, just nobody could figure out what was going on. And there's no vaccine.
Inadequacies of our government and medical system.
Right. I think this might be talked about.
The political ramifications are going to be interesting as well, because once we get to the other side, whether it's the Democrats or the good guys or however you want to view it versus
however you want to view it,
however you want to view it, right? However this changes the hand of power, I mean, it's just going to be a fucking iron grip on it potentially for 10, maybe even 20 years.
Yeah.
Just because one side is going to be able to ride whatever perceived victory or, positive or whoever won on the other side of, what's going to happen. So this is one of those events. You're definitely right about that, brother. That's for sure.
I don't know, because, right now Des Moines Public Schools don't even really have books. So I don't know if that's going to be something that they can really put in a textbooks, but I guarantee you it's going to be something taught in these people's lesson plan, though. I guarantee you it comes up. It's going to have
Remember
to.
our history books with them stupid ass hand drawn pictures of events? I mean, that shit is going to be drawing, 20 pictures of doctors and hospitals in full guards, in black and white. It just it's gonna be one of those events for sure.
Yep, most definitely.
So we must continue to feed ourselves, keep ourselves healthy. I think the big takeaway is that ain't nobody coming to save us. No one is. We're lucky so far that we've been able to keep employed and got some money coming in, but no one's coming to save us. We might get $1,200 in the mail 3-4 months into the shit, and way too late with no continued end in sight, with no plan to fix it. So, this is one of those things where you remember that you got to respect the process that it actually takes to grow and be self-sufficient and try to figure out how to take care of yourself, because no one else is going to. So
I wholeheartedly agree, brother. And that brings me to my next question, because I have to get your insight on this. And you can take as long as you want. But how do you feel about certain states like Georgia opening up? Not fully, but opening up, period, anything. And it wasn't only just them, but they're one of the main focuses, because obviously Atlanta being one of the most popular cities, being one of the most urban cities full of black people or people of color in general. So what are your thoughts on that? Because I'm hearing a lot of conspiracy theories and things like that, and I don't really engage in that type of shit, but I just want to see what you think.
Well, look, man, I think that if history has taught us anything, that if the United States wants to do something fucked up for the sake of $1, that they start with the black and brown, point blank and period.
Yeah.
And it isn't always just this intense, violent, obvious action. More often than not, it's a very subtle, quiet, political moment that most people, because they're in such dire straits, i.e. just poor and living on a day-to-day basis and can't be bothered with things really outside of their world that don't necessarily impact, will they eat tonight? Can they pay rent this month? And it's so easy for these politicians to go, well, let's just open up this town because the people who have money can't protect themselves. The people who keep us in office can't protect themselves. And if we lose anyone, it'll be poor people that mostly people won't care about, or no one's going to report about anyways or read about, and we'll take those lessons. And if no one does care about it, then we can push and force this policy onto the rest of, the unwitting and unsuspecting and poor and disadvantaged folks in America. So I don't think it's a conspiracy. I think this is just how things work. I said at the end of which I'm re-recording, but my message at the end of my Cheffen's Half-Ass Politics is that I don't think the problem in America is a race problem. I think it is a class problem. It is just that through intent and time and history, black and brown have been in the quote unquote lower class and the bigger problems. And now a majority of America is being pushed into this section 2. That 1% is getting smaller and smaller and stronger, and everyone else is getting pushed into this lower class level. And if you do it subtly and you start with the folks traditionally with who have the worst stuff, you can slowly build up and ramp up to an ultimate position of power and money and yada, 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 yada. So this is
Wait a minute. I don't really want to get too much into this because I want to watch your show, because the last time we kind of got into it about, your comments on fucking Joe Biden and shit like that. But because from what I'm hearing here, correct me if I'm wrong, you're saying that race doesn't play a part. You think it's a class issue. that people of color, black and brown or whoever, have just been systematically placed in this certain class.
But we
right?
definitely started there historically. I mean, obviously, let's just start right off with slavery.
Okay.
Basically, Europe just went on out and found anyone with a different skin color and subjugated them to a lower class and or less than human status, essentially. So, I
Right.
mean, there's the foundation for, I mean, to remove yourself from that that's a whole. I mean, that's a whole thing. That's not like something you just do overnight. That is generations and thousands and hundreds of years of oppression that is going to take just as long to undo. So we're on the undoing end of it, but at the infancy of that moment, right? But it's still very much an unbalanced place where, unfortunately, black and brown, most of are in a lower class section of society. I mean, if it isn't because you live in a third world country that just doesn't have as many resources and wealth, it's because you live in a highly segregated / racist country like America or most, a lot of European nations. But the thing is, like it's jumping the bridge here from it doesn't matter anymore, or it's getting to a point where it matters less and less about your actual skin color, where that is what they want to make you think that is the real argument, but that's not it. It's actually about your resources and your wealth.
What?
Because we know if it was all about race, right, there wouldn't be black billionaires and rich and brown billionaires. That just wouldn't be a thing if it was, oh, well, the world is racist and that's why can't no one black get ahead. But I argue
there's limits to everything. Now, you said that if it wasn't for this, we wouldn't be able to have people of color billionaires. But you act like there's a lot of us.
And I know there's not for sure.
So we can't really, you can't. That's not. I really,
like I said,
really wouldn't use that. I really wouldn't use that. You hear when I said
though that the point is that like it's like a changing eventually, right? That it's a building up too. But before you could say, oh well, it's a black and brown thing, because you just had at that point just sheer violent power in your ability. But now, because of technology and information, the way things have changed, it's turned into a straight wealth game. But those super wealthy and elite are able to still portray it as a race game and keep us divided in that way. But ultimately, this is where it's going. It's going to an ultimate haves and have not. It's not, if you come to the door and you got the money, you get in. No one's going to go, well, you're black and can't get in. They'll be like, well, we want that money too, so go ahead and get in. Brother, and not everywhere. I disagree with you. It's not so widespread in this. Racism is still a problem. Let me clarify overall. But I think if you look at that 1% level, that 1%, they don't give a fuck what color you are. They want the money. So if you're coming with money, you get to come in.
That's not true, brother.
I can respect you disagreeing with that.
I disagree with you. I agree with, like, I believe there's a combination of both that goes into that. Mm-hmm. But I think race is the alpha and the omega, the beginning and the end. Like, in order for a person of color to even get in you have to be in the position to even achieve a certain class, and we was never even in a position to even be to achieve a certain class. Why? Because we were in slavery, and because of that, we were denied certain resources that other people that were not of color had, and they were able to get, and they were able to use and abuse that to accumulate the wealth that our ancestors helped them do that by doing all the motherfucking labor and the work behind it. So I don't really think that it's a class thing, bro. I wholeheartedly, I think that because of slavery and things of that nature, and how we were not even looked at as people, we were denied all these resources that, you know, Caucasians, whoever, they were able to build and get generational wealth like the Rockefellers and all this other shit. And that's why I said at the beginning that there's just a limited amount of black and brown billionaires, because they're only going to let a few percent get to that stature. They're not going to let everybody just get to that stature who has some kind of fame or notoriety or whatever the case may be. Like, just because you said something like, well, as long as you have the money, they'll let you in the door. That's not true. And I hate to even bring this up, but I'm just going to give you an example. Bill Cosby tried to buy NBC. He had the money. So if he had the money to buy NBC, why wouldn't they let him in the door?
Well, that race definitely could have played the issue, but Bill Cosby definitely was not the richest black man.
We're not talking about that. That's not the question. The question is, you said if you have the money, they will let you in the door.
Right. Well,
he had the money to buy NBC. Right. We're not talking about anything else. We're just talking about the money. He had the money to buy NBC. Why didn't they let him in the door?
No, but that is a particular transaction you're talking about, whereas I'm talking about the actual dividing.
I'm just giving you an example based on what you said, that not everybody who has the money can get in the door.
So let me explain then. So that's a specific transaction, like a literal, oh, well, I want to buy NBC and I got the money.
I gave you an example.
But NBC wasn't necessarily for sale in that particular way. And Bill Cosby clearly had a bunch of grudges and rapes that he committed. Where anyone who wanted
now
to
you bringing up stuff that doesn't equate to what we're talking about. The rapes and all that stuff doesn't equate to what we're talking about, brother.
So
we're talking about strictly what. Hold on. Oh, go ahead.
So then imagine Bill Cosby shows up, and you already know that he's, it's all industry, right? If you're in, you're in. If you're a part of Hollywood, one of these elites, you just know. So Cosby shows up and says, I want to buy your shit. And you're like, well, we don't, because we're racist, want to give this black man this kind of power. How can we prevent him from doing that? Instead of making it a full-on, let's just not sell him the business, let's just prevent him from buying the stocks that would be necessary for him to obtain our network and our power. Let's just bring up all the shit that we know about his ass, that being the sexual assault allegations and charges and whatnot. And boom, there you go. So you have a mix there where even if, I don't think that Bill Cosby was in that particular elitist class like that. I think he was in like the black community for sure. He's a super rich guy there. But as far as the world works, no. And on top of that, I do believe he raped women. So he set himself up to do something that industry wouldn't want him to do, and have this baggage that they could clearly exploit. Whether you want to believe the sexual assault charges is another question, but that's how they played it, I believe. So I don't think that was a welcome to the top of echelons, because he had the money in that he was already there, but he wanted to take away power from someone, and they were like, no, we can take this guy down easily and prevent that. I don't think that was the same type of thing. I'm saying that if you want to hop into that 1%, Bill, I don't think Bill Cosby, technically maybe on paper, but he was no billionaire. If you want to hop into that, we make worldwide decisions kind of money, if you got it, race doesn't matter. And there's probably maybe 1,000 people in the world who are actually in that. And of them, maybe 25% are black or brown to some extent. A lot of those cats are Middle Eastern, they don't really talk about the wealth. But if you look at any of the research, those cats got that kind of bread, and they do make worldwide decisions, impacting decisions. Bill Cosby wasn't there. So I get Bill Cosby is a powerful man as far as money goes in America, and especially in the black community, but I don't think he was a part of that elite class. And that's why that's not a good example.
I'll let you go. Number one, when you made your comment, you didn't say as far as these people in the 1% making world decisions. What you said was, if you got wealth, they should let you in the door.
Right. But that's why I clarified for sure.
Okay,
so that's what I'm talking about.
I had to. So that's why I'm trying to go back so people understand why I said what I said. So based on you saying that is why I posed the Bill Cosby thing. Because if you have enough money to buy a fucking network, especially like NBC, whether you as an individual or you have partners, I would think to say that you're a pretty powerful man, considering the fact that he kind of popularized NBC with his shows, whether it be the Cosby Show, Different World, or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because of that you ended up having the Fresh Prince and all these other African-American shows that kind of spun off of what he did that got put on major networks. But that's the reason why I brought that up, because if he had the finances to do that, or any other network,
right. But I don't
why
think
wouldn't they let him in?
Part of that, that class, that top echelon.
But for you, but that doesn't matter, brother, and that's what you're not understanding. Because if he had the resources to do it, they know he had the resource to do it. You openly admitted and said that he had the resource to do it. Then why wouldn't they let him do it? And the first thing you say is you want to keep bringing up these damn rapes, like nobody else in the industry was accused of it, brother. Like, come on,
for
man.
Sure.
I'm tired of you. I'm tired of you bringing that shit up,
what
man.
I actually said was that clearly he's not in the same class. Whether he has the money to buy a network doesn't mean that he's in the same upper echelon 1% class that I'm referring to.
Yeah, this is before you clarify.
Right. So you clarify.
So
the level
now,
that I'm talking about, as far as who has the money, who they let in, and who makes these type of worldwide impacting decisions.
And I don't even agree with you that there's 25% of brown or black people. No, he's not a part of that. No, there.
Right. So that's
to be honest with you, there's probably like 5 to 10% that are black and brown that are on that board that are able to make world decisions, brother.
But in either case, Bill Cosby just isn't a good example. I mean, Bill Cosby.
Yeah, he was a good example based on what you first said. It was what you first said. That's why you had to clarify. That's why you had to clarify. Because he was a good example. So you had to clarify so we can get on the world shit.
But that's why Bill Cosby. But point being is Bill Cosby wouldn't be an example because he's just not a part of that elite class. You know, he's
for the first thing you said, yeah. Because I'm not gonna let you try to destroy my example, brother, based on this wordplay and tricknology that you're doing.
Your example was valid until I clarify what I was saying.
Right. So. But we're not at the clarified part yet. We're talking about the before. We agreed at the clarified part that he has no power. We agreed there. I even said that there's only maybe 5 to 10% of black or brown
arguably
that might have that type of power.
Very much power in the black community in the first place. He was controversial for the
well, he rubbed people the wrong way. I heard a lot of people like DL Hughley, Dave Chappelle, Cedric the Entertainer. I heard a lot of people give even Eddie Murphy said, Richard Pryor, the list could keep going on. How people said that Bill Cosby rubbed them the wrong way. I get it, bro. Trust me, he wasn't the most dignified pillar in the black community, and he probably wasn't the most well liked. But I just threw him out there based on your first scenario. But we agreed that he has no power in the second one.
But my overall point is that simply this is how that upper echelon really controls the world.
Yeah.
We are as a society so divided on our races, our perceived races at that. Right. That we inevitably divide ourselves up into these groups that just can't come to a solid head. And we have these weird, almost cult-like loyalties to these, again, perceived races and ideals of, and everyone's ideal of what race.
Who even classified all this shit? You know what I mean?
Rich white people, bro.
Exactly.
The upper echelon, the 1%, the world decision maker.
There you go.
He's black, he's white, he's yellow, he's this, Y'all decide between yourselves what's good and bad about that.
Check this box at whatever you are when you're filling out this application. Are you black, brown, are you African American? You know.
And in one instance, you can see why it seems important, but on the other instance, you can be like, it's so fucked up that we have made this an important question. And that's how we've decided to break each other down. When we know as humans, we all have the same basic needs and wants: food, shelter, a little bit of love.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And now we decide these in different roles where we intersect. That's where we start hating one another. You know, we don't like your colors. We don't like your food. You're on that side of the water. Like, y'all are weird, man.
And it makes no sense whatsoever, brother. It really doesn't.
No sense.
You know.
So, well, but yeah, and that's just a quote. I don't even go this deep into it on the half-ass politics. I just say, you know, bottom line, America, it's not so much we have a race problem that we have a class problem. You know, and as long as we keep fighting about our race, we'll never figure out the class problem. And we can't do class problem first. We can't all get rich together first. That's not going to happen. We can't all get to a point of wealth and not wanting for basic resources if we can't get past the fact that we might all be a little bit different looking on the outside.
I just want to say this real quick, and then we can move on or probably end it or whatever. But I think that the reason why it's going to always be a race thing. The reason why I always think, but I got to get this out before I forget. The reason why I always think it's going to be a race thing, bro, especially here in the United States, is the fact that the United States hasn't even openly apologized for slavery. Number one. And then it's funny how, you know, the Jewish community who was involved in the Holocaust, survived the Holocaust, and had family members affected, they received some form of reparations, but we're the only ones that endured all that amount of bigotry, slavery, abuse,
Japanese
mental abuse.
Interns people during the World War II.
And they just go on and act like, well, yeah, it happened, but you know, you guys turned out okay. Like,
I wish I would have seen this
man.
comment. Motherfucker said earlier on a post I seen. I was just cracking jokes, and the motherfucker said some stupid shit like some shit about we were slaves over in Africa. I wanted to get on that bitch so bad and chime because these motherfuckers always talking about race on that Facebook shit, and motherfucker said that shit like, motherfucker, do you not know, motherfucker, we got took from our land, motherfucker, and y'all made us slaves. What the fuck are you talking about? But I don't like to get on that kind of shit on social media because it just goes totally left once you go that route.
Yeah, you can't really have a fair conversation on Facebook about anything serious. I mean, these cats can try all they want. They have all the pages and post the best memes. They can have the best intentions, but it's a fucking wild, wild west out there, man. There's just you can't have any logic when you can't actually sit down and see a motherfucker's face, look into their eyes, hear their actual voice, their tone. That shit just get reckless, man. I would never engage. That's the main reason I even hopped off Facebook, because as light and funny as I tried to keep it, people would always try to turn some stupid shit I said into something political.
I guarantee you that those people were taught that shit, bro. Like, I guarantee you that that's some shit that they grew up being taught to them by their parents or whoever. Like, because I just don't believe a person is born to hate like that. You know what I mean? You're just not. You know what I mean? These are learned habits. These are learned tendencies. These are learned things that are coming from people who probably learned it from their father and their mother. And I mean, just generations of hate just being taught down and to their kids in a world where actually everybody tries to be us. They mimic us, try to dress like us, you know, and everything from the food to the fashion to the slang to just everything, you know. And like I said a long time ago, the way things are now, I mean, before you know it, is the United States at least is going to be more multi-cultural as time goes on because of all the interracial relationships that people are having. So you got to deal with that shit.
Give it 100 years, everyone's going to be more or less the same shade. And then that's when that class issue is going to really rear its head. That I was talking about, you know.
It's just like you said. I try not to even let people piss me off on social media when I see that type of shit, man. I look at them like they just don't have no common sense.
Yeah,
I never engage.
If you can't say that to my face and be and say it sincerely and feel like you're saying honestly, like you're just being trashy on the internet. You're a piece of shit. You can't draw no line in the sand if you fucking wanted to. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I just don't take that shit seriously at all, man.
None. I can't.
Well, I'm glad you finally joined us, but at the end of a nice little conversation we was having there. You know? I got to remind you, fellas.
Bro, I was trying the whole time
that we can use this particular method. So, we're about almost 2 hours into it for the month so far.
Yeah, we gotta end this joint, to be real with you, bro. We're hour 16 minutes in.
Yeah, I was trying that whole time while we was going back and forth. I was trying to get in. It wouldn't let me in. I had to turn my phone totally.
Bro, can I ask you a question, Brother Black? I got 2 questions. Brother Black?
Oh, see, now he froze up again. You see this?
All right, well, look,
Chef,
go ahead and send us off, brother. Go ahead and send us off, brother.
All right, well, like I said, technology's a motherfucker in that it's not perfect. But I think this was a good cast for as far as using this method. Next week, I think we'll try and get a decent connection from Brother Black and get a full conversation between us all. Hold on, let's add this back in. I'm gonna add you back in for a brief second here, Black, just to let you know we are now signing off on
signing off.
Another episode of the SquadKast.
Oh, bad.
SquadKast episode 19. Y'all take it easy out there.
Take it easy. Be safe.
Like, share, drop a comment, do all that good stuff. All right.
All right, bro. Y'all be cool.
Take it easy, brother.
You too, bro.
Deuces.